my name's Andy Hillier, and in this video I'm going to give you 4 chord shapes to help really transform your blues playing. I'm going to go through them in a minute, but just before I do, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, which is Andy Hillier, give me a like on the video, press the notifications, leave me some comments in the comments section, and if you love what I'm doing, you want to support me and you want to print the tabs off for this, then I'll put them on my Patreon page. I'll leave a link to that in the description. In this video, I'm going to give you 4 different inversions of a dominant 7th chord up and down the neck, so that instead of just staying on one shape, playing through, you know, when you're playing, like say in a blues in G, if you're just playing the G chord, instead of using that one same shape, you can move up and down the neck, make things more interesting. Okay, let's get straight into it then. First finger on E3. So this is where often you're playing your G chord, right? Or G7. We're going to put this inversion here. So first finger, E3, second finger on D3, third finger on B3, and then little finger on G4. So your first finger will mute off the A string. So when we play down, we don't hear the A string or the E string. Okay, and you can play it one note at a time, or you can play it as a chord, or play the root note and then the chord. You can mess about with it however you want, but that's the first inversion. Okay, on to the second chord shape, and it's this, which is it's still a G7 chord, but we've now got the third in the bass, or the root note as the third. So third finger on fret 7 on the E string, little finger on G7, first finger is on D5, and second finger is on B6. It's a little bit of an awkward chord shape, that. Okay, so get used to that chord shape, and then try moving from the first chord shape that we had, bar 1, to this chord shape. And you hear there's already some movement. Even just jumping between those 2 chord shapes is more interesting than this. So you can go. Okay, so that's the second chord shape. The third chord shape. Now, jumping from this chord shape to the next chord shape is not too bad, because we're going to take the same shape and move it up 3 frets, and then switch your second finger up to the D string and your first finger down to the B string. We end up with this chord. So we've now got the 5th in the bass. So third finger on fret 10 of the E string, little finger on G10, first finger on the B8, second finger on D9. So between the second shape and the third shape, your first and second fingers switch over strings. So it's not too bad a change jumping between those 2 chord shapes. So if we go all 3 shapes that we've had so far. And then the 4th shape we're going to use is the 7th in the bass. First finger flat across the D, G and the B strings at the 12th fret. Then second finger on 13 on the E string. Okay, so that's our 3rd and 4th shape. You could play that same shape if you've got the first chord shape. You go down 2 frets and we play like E1 with the open D, G and B strings. That's the same shape. It gets a bit low there having the 7th that low, but anyway. So the first 4 shapes, or all 4 shapes we've got. And you hear the movement, it's going up. Then we can go back down. And you can experiment jumping up and down between the chord shapes. Just play about with it, and it just makes it more interesting. And then when you go to, say if you're playing a blues in G7, Then when you get to the 4 chord, which would be C7, you can maybe start on like the first shape that we've got, then jump down to the 4th shape, because we're in a different place, and then down to the 3rd shape. And just play about with it, and you can just use it over any dominant 7th chord. So you could choose, I don't know, any key, A, so you start on the 5th fret. Or you can do it in E, it's quite nice in E. So yeah, you can just use it any key. Obviously, you just got to work out the different chords for the blues, but using those different shapes and have a little play around with it. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed that little guitar lesson, found it useful. If you have, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, which is Andy Hillier, give me a like on the video, press the notifications. I do love to hear from you, and I do read every single comment, so please leave me some comments in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of the video, if you found it useful. And if you love what I'm doing, you want to support me, support the channel, and you want to print the tabs off of this, then I'll put it on my Patreon page. I'll leave a link to that in the description. Well, thanks for watching this. I do really appreciate it. I've got loads and loads of other videos on like blues stuff and all different kinds of videos, lots of different tutorials. So go and check some of those out as well. I've been Andy Hillier, and I'll see you next time.